Beat it up like.
Welcome back. Today I'll be reacting to another BTS video, and this one uncovers a lot of the mistreatment and bigotry that BTS has faced since they've come onto the scene. And as you know, I'm just starting to familiarize myself with this group. I've listened to their music. I've reacted to Dynamite, Permission to Dance, and Butter. And I think they are all excellent songs. I really like Butter, but then again, you know, I love Ed Sheeran. So when I found out that he wrote that, he wrote Permission to Dance. Permission to Dance. Yeah, that's the one that I like. But then again, I love Ed Sheeran, so I'm not covering that bias. But all three of them were great, and I can't wait to start digging deep into their discography. But another thing that I wanted to mention is that I'm not ignoring y'all. I'm not trying to stall here. There are a lot of you, and there's only one of me. I appreciate all of your kindness, your support, your warmth, the recommendations that y'all leave in the comments. I'm adding all of them to my gigantic list. But just know that there's only so much time in the day, and I am going to get through all of your requests. And I know it's like, Manny, there's no way in hell you're going to get through all of it. Trust me, I'm going to be making a transition in my life in the near future, which will free me up to have a lot more time to just focus on YouTube, which is my passion, my joy. So yes, I will have time to go through all these reactions and more. I just need that though, time. So don't think that I'm ignoring you. I gave you this request. All right, but so did 500 other people. So I can't knock it out within the first 2 days that it's given, more than likely. And also my plan, just to be fully transparent, is to start from after I react to these documentaries, just to know more about them and their personality, their story, because there are 7 of them, so there are a lot of stories to keep track of, a lot of names. I've only memorized 3 names: Suga, RM, and how can I forget Jimin, which is my personal favorite. Y'all call them biases. But yeah, I'm still learning the other people's names and J-Hope, and you just got to give me some time.
This video was not made in order to relive the sadness or to hold grudges against others. This video was made to remind us that BTS didn't rise to success without facing hurdles, and these events have created a stronger bond between BTS and ARMY.
And also another thing I should do flat out is just shout out to X Celeste or Celeste. Hopefully I pronounced it right the first time. I get the feeling this is going to be an awesome documentary, and so many of y'all have recommended it to me, which is why I'm checking it out. So yes, please subscribe to them if you haven't already.
June 13, 2013. BTS were only able to debut because the scheduled performers canceled. BTS was a filler.
Wow.
Even after debuting, they couldn't get much airtime. Their performances were either shortened, cut from broadcasts, or not uploaded for online consumption.
But just listen to that. Those words don't even sound like they go together. BTS was a filler. Man. Yeah, they came up from the mud.
Due to their company's lack of clout at that time.
저 당시에는 네, 우리가 막 방송을 마음대로 못 깔 때예요. 그치. 방송을 막 사람 다 차있으면 우리 못 나오고 그럴 때도 있었어.
저 때 한밤에 이게 나오게 된 게 되게 약간 우리가 막 그랬었어. 막 그때 그랬어요. 되게 중요한 거고 막 신기한 거고 되게 약간 원래 그렇게 다른 인터뷰 잘 안 해주시는데 막 그때 그런 기억이 나요.
저희를 구원해 주신 거죠?
From sleeping in one bedroom to using their own staff.
That's the most powerful. That's the most powerful image I've seen from watching all their videos so far. That room with the 3 bunk beds. That room has to be what, like 200 square feet, if that. That's deep. That's deep.
Sleeping in one bedroom to using their own staff as extras, to recording an album in a garage. These were just a few things BTS experienced early on in their careers due to their company's limited budget.
지도에 보면 선생님이 막 말 걸어주신 거 기억나요?
옷에 쓰여 있는 건 무슨
That shit would have been a deterrent to so many people. So many people would have been like, what? I'm not working out of a garage. I'm out of this group. I'm not gonna join that. I'm not. And they stuck to it. They stuck to it. You know, perseverance is one of the most redeeming traits of humanity. The ability to persevere and to push forward. See, a lot of people don't do that. And then they end up giving up and going through the motions in life and living almost a zombie lifestyle that is absent of emotion and full of numbness because they're not pursuing what they were called to do. See, we're all called to do something. You might not know what it is. You might not have been able to identify it yet, but you have a purpose. You were called to do something on this earth that is unique and that is not quite like anyone else's calling. You know what I'm saying? So like I said in one of my last videos, just listen to that inner voice, that inner monologue. Don't suppress it. Don't tell it to shut up. Don't let your parents, don't let your family members, don't let your friends, don't let your teachers, don't let your boss suppress that voice. Don't let them interfere with that calling. You know, you have to do what you've been called to do, and you got to rise to the occasion like BTS. Perseverance.
머리하고
Sacrifice.
없어가지고 16,000원짜리 후배티 프린팅 해가지고 모듈 올라가지고 말을 이렇게 해야겠었나 아무튼. 네.
Because some of the members came from an underground rap background, but ultimately chose the path of becoming idols, they were often disrespected.
I don't know how I feel about that term though. Idols, I don't like that term. I don't like that term. I don't even know if they would call themselves idols. You know? It's an odd construct to be an idol because it implies that, you know, they are deserving of worship. And I don't think BTS wants you to worship them. I think I don't want to speak for them, but I think the entire point is to see a little bit of them in yourself. Yeah, I think that's a goal. I don't think they want people to worship them. I don't think they want people to obsess over them and fetishize them and think of them as I think they just see their fan base as friends, as family. And I know in like this celebrity worship culture, especially here in the United States, where we look at celebrities and we're like, they are incapable of having any flaws or doing anything wrong. One, that's not true. And sometimes our flaws are what makes us so beautiful and our ability to work through and work on those flaws.
준이가 언더에서 활동을 했다고 이제 그런 사람들이 많아요. 아이돌로 올라가서 나는 언더그라운드 활동을 했던 사람이다 하고 원플이라고 흔히 하잖아요. 그러면은 이제 언더 매니아, 힙합 매니아라고 하는 사람들은 그런 거를 당연히 안 좋게 보죠.
아, 쟤네 음악도 안 하고 그냥 회사에서 시키는데도 노래방에서 춤이나 추는 것들이 무슨 가수냐, 니네가 무슨 아티스트냐. 저런 애를
That can be applied to,
춤이나 추는 것.
you know, the state of being that many of us find ourselves in. That one line, he's simply just dancing after being handed a song. How many of us feel like we're just dancing after being handed a song? We didn't make the song, we didn't create the dance, we're just dancing after someone handed us a song.
들이 무슨 가수냐, 니네가 무슨 아티스트냐. 저런 애를 더 이상 나오면 안 된다.
A rapper told RM and Suga that they were on the right path, but strayed away and were no longer considered real rap hip-hop artists, deeming them girls for wearing makeup.
방탄소년단에 대해서 사실 다 찍어서 말하고 아이돌을 보입니다. 네, 맞습니다. 힙합이 아니다.
One, makeup is not specific to any particular gender, and I also think that, you know, and I hate this term, toxic masculinity, because it's overused and it's thrown around so much, but the ways in which that permeates rap culture in the United States and apparently in Korea too, it's very concerning. So makeup is not something just for women. It's something for models. It's something for people, anchors. Obviously, this dude has yet to hit it big time, because if MTV told him to go to the station to do an interview, and they told him to put on makeup before the interview, as they do with most artists, I guarantee you he would put some makeup on and he would change his tune quite quickly. So it just sounds like there's some haterade going on right there. You know, how is it that RM and Sugar, I think, how is it that they can be great rappers and they could also be able to cross over and go back and forth and alternate? I think, you know, perhaps his own fears and insecurities are dictating his interactions with this group right now, you know? And I don't think it's very flattering. I don't think it makes him look tough. I don't think it makes him look real to say these things. I think it makes him seem closed-minded. And I don't know how old he is, but the time to be closed-minded has a cap on it. You know what I'm saying? I think once you get to certain age brackets, you're supposed to get with the program. You know, that's why I can't fathom people in their 40s, 50s, 60s who have these backwards views on society. It's like, whoa, aren't you supposed to be more wise? You know, aren't you supposed to be more mature? Haven't you supposed to have seen more in your lifetime that would give you an open mind? No, that's often not what we see. So that's why I also don't agree with the notion that age should be conflated with wisdom. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I've met a lot of old people who are not wise, who haven't made the best decisions, who are not satisfied with the quality of their lives. And yet they have a lot of opinions and perspectives to give that are very narrow, that are very arrogant. You know, there's this kind of arrogance attached to it. And it's like, I don't know. And vice versa. I met, you know, some young people who, they get it. Now, that's not always the case. There are older people who it aligns to wisdom and you could learn so much from them. And young people who do dumb things and think stupid things.
방탄소년단이 무대에 올라갔을 때 뭐 이제 분장을 한다는 어떤 메이크업을 하는 거 이제 어떤 힙합과 충돌되는 부분이 있을 것 같은데.
분장 그런 게 아니라 여자.
Whoa, shut the front door.
BTS were being told by several people they would never make it because they came from a small agency. Big Hit Entertainment was at one point near bankruptcy and didn't have the financial power to promote and push BTS the way other companies could with their own groups. In 2014, Suga shared his story about battling depression since pre-debut days. Suga continues to discuss and bring awareness to mental health through his work. Until now, BTS has continuously been transparent about their darkest thoughts and feelings, not just through their music, but also their very public personas. February 2014, BTS were accused of copying the schoolboy concept for Boy in Love, which came out shortly after another group released their music video.
I mean, no, this is not even biased speaking, and I know I keep pausing it, so I apologize. This is gonna be another long video, but come on now, get out of here. The schoolboy concept has been used so many times by so many different boy bands, and I mean, Britney Spears, Hit Me Baby One More Time. Have you seen that music video? Like, they plagiarized. Come on, you're reaching for straws.
Even though the concept is a popular choice amongst young boy bands. April 2014. During a variety show, the host confronted them about this plagiarism accusation.
수어와 겹친 교복 패션 왜 하필 X일까? 원망 있나요?
사실 저희가 말씀드린
얘기 천천히
제가
I'm gonna answer that.
사랑 이야기 학교 3부작의 마지막이었어요. 그래가지고 나 언제 한번 교복을 입겠다라고 생각을 했는데 그게 되게 유명의 시가 겹쳐가지고.
Throughout their careers, they've been constantly criticized for plagiarism, often for outfits, props, concepts, and hair colors that are ordinary not just in K-pop, but the expansive world of visual arts.
I thought the plagiarism accusations were gonna have some basis, but hair colors? They have a fucking hot air balloon? I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. What do you want them to do, you know? Like, fly to Mars and shoot their video on Mars? Oh, that's already, you know, somebody already did that in a music video. Come on now.
November 2014. Hashtag #KickoutJHopeBTS trended on Twitter, calling J-Hope ugly and untalented. The trend became popular enough that their friend and supervisor from their reality show American Hustle Life, Tony Jones, tweeted out saying, "Every member is needed and talented." Jin stepped in by telling ARMYs to cheer up and that all of them were working hard. ARMYs got together and trended hashtag J-Hope you're perfect to comfort him.
I love that.
May 2015. BTS finally won their first music show with their song I Need You 2 years after their debut, but were accused of 사재기. This is when companies buy back albums to boost external sales records. But this was when their company was barely surviving financially, making the claims groundless. May 2015. V was accused of mocking another idol group after.
But let's go back to the last allegation. This notion of buying albums. It is as clear as day that allegation. I don't know about the other ones, but that one has been laid to rest. These numbers, they don't lie. The comments that y'all put in the comment section, you are not bots. Like, you are real people with real stories who come from different parts of the world. This is not the record label making comments and sending me emails and adding me on Instagram and Twitter. This is not that. So the notion that like their success came as a result of this small record label buying millions of albums and I don't buy into that. Perhaps there was some but there's really no way for me to know. All I know is that regardless of whether there was or wasn't, they've taken off, you know, because there's only so long you could keep that going. You could only keep that corruption going for so long until it dies out, you know, because you always have to keep buying those albums. You always have to keep, you can't do that forever.
2015.
It's not sustainable.
V was accused of mocking another idol group after they won a music show and were accepting the trophy. People began to send him death threats. However, he wasn't mocking them at all. V was known to be a fan of this group and was singing their song out of excitement. He apologized on Twitter for the misunderstanding and provided screenshots showing that he would always listen to this song before bed. July 2015. BTS abruptly halted their concert, The Red Bullet, in New York due to death threats towards RM. All related fan activities were also subsequently cancelled. Attendees of the show were forced to leave the venue, where there was a strong presence of security and police at the scene.
Sorry. We love you. I love you.
RM also received another death threat for another upcoming show in Mexico later that month. July 2016, people began to debate over alleged misogynistic lyrics and tweets from BTS. This led to the members and the company reflecting back on their actions.
What was the misogyny?
BTS's agency, Big Hit Entertainment, responded with an apology and a promise to do better. Consequently, the band grew from this lesson and have since released feminist overtures such as 21st Century Girl, and in 2019 responded to their 2014 single Boy in Love with Boy with Love, a collaboration with Halsey. RM has said that since the incident, he pays closer attention to the lyrics he writes, reading newspapers.
Hey, you live and you learn, man. You live and you learn. We make mistakes, and sometimes, you know, we're out of pocket and we need to be held accountable. You don't got to get death threats. That doesn't. But he learned, you know, and hopefully, he's changed. It sounds like he has.
Papers and books to study the social phenomena. After he finishes writing lyrics, he consults experts of women's studies to objectively examine the lyrics. May 2016. During their epilogue concert, aunties began to use the hashtag Plagiarism Boy Scouts. Multiple fandoms teamed up to trend this hashtag in Korea. BTS saw this, and the media latched on. June 2016. During the variety show Flower Crew, Jungkook arrived at the filming location with a bag of hamburgers for his cast members, hoping to break the ice. One of the cast members made rude comments and turned Jungkook's offer away.
다시 말하고 느낌이 딱 먹다 남긴 느낌인데. 아니 새 거예요. 진짜 새 거예요. 야.
BTS has since filmed another variety show with the same host, and spirits seem high. September 2016.
A lot of what this feels like is envy.
Antis made yet another project called Brave Wings
they hate us because they ain't us?
Project to try to sabotage their comeback in October. The project was caught and stopped once comments on YouTube broadcasting the project were put on blast. Wings then went on to sell 16,000 units in its first week, appearing at number 26 on the US Billboard 200 chart, setting the then highest record for a K-pop album and making BTS the first and only K-pop act at that time to log 3 entries on the Billboard 200. Because of this, Antis took strategic pictures of non-armies and claimed that there was no line in stores that sold physical albums. October 2016. During the Busan One Asia Festival, fans were told a couple
these Antis are perhaps, and I don't want to speculate here, but like is it possible that they're being paid by other... Manny, I don't know. Just start admitting you're a fan of BTS. I don't want to be biased, but I just don't know. Is it possible that these Antis are being paid by like competing record labels and record companies to like smear BTS? Because I just don't understand how there could be people out there like in large swaths who just hate BTS. Granted, I haven't heard the other side, so maybe that's something I need to be open to or look for, but it just seems odd, you know, these critiques. It seems like they're reaching for straws here.
Hours before the broadcast that BTS were no longer appearing because one member was absent from an injury, even though a countless number of fans were already present at the event venue and BTS was ready and willing to perform. BTS ended up performing for the fans who attended the event and waited all day, but it was at the end of the event with leftover confetti, no proper lighting, and no cameras rolling. Their performance was not broadcasted and only fan cams were taken. October 2016. During BTS's Blood, Sweat and Tears promotion in South Korea, BTS wasn't given a waiting room at the broadcast center. So the members made do and practiced, got dressed, and did makeup in front of the bathrooms. They would practice non-stop without resting, greeting other staffers who were going to the bathroom, and other idol groups would openly look down on them. This comment was left under a video uploaded by Wei, a member from Crayon Pop. Wei responded, "Yes, that's right. All I remember is their hard work and efforts. I especially haven't forgotten RM's voice practicing Japanese." November 2016. V made a heartfelt announcement during their muster that his beloved grandmother had passed away. Anti saw this as an opportunity to twist his narrative and intentions, sending him death threats and accusing him of using her passing as a ploy for attention. November 2016, Big Hit released a...
I don't know. I mean, that just doesn't... Again, I guess everything is plausible, but the idea that he would like announce the passing of his grandmother for attention, it's like, dude, what do you think they're at the concert performing for? It's for attention. It's so they can be seen, so they could relate to their audience, you know, so they could interact with the fans on stage. And I think that, you know, perhaps him sharing the news of his grandmother's death was just a way, you know, to interact with the fans, because they are so close to their fans. So it would almost be like a friend, you know, or yeah, it would almost be if I go to lunch with a group of friends and I'm feeling down and I'm just saying what's on my heart and I'm like, hey, my grandmother passed. It's just their friends consist of like millions of people in a stadium.
formal statement about taking legal actions regarding malicious rumors, false statements, and personal attacks against BTS. The company continues to pursue legal actions against perpetrators to this day, enforcing a strict no settlement and leniency policy. November 2016. Fans of another group were upset that BTS won Album of the Year at the Melon Music Awards, claiming it was done out of charity and that miscalculations were made. They called Melon customer care, where an employee explained that the company's internal data proved that BTS scored higher. Audio of the conversation was released.
그거 이제 그 상에 해당하는 앨범들을 해가지고 계산한 게 있는데 그러면은 저희가
We have calculated our own score for this award, so what you're saying is that the data is absolutely, we see is absolutely different compared to the data considered by Melon. That sounds about right.
보는 거랑 뭐 멜론 내부에서 보는 거랑 그러면은 데이터가 아예 다르다는 소리일까요?
아니요, 똑같으시고요. 고객께서 보셨던 거는 차트랑 그리고 스트리밍 그 실시간 그 앨범 자체가 나오고 나서 순간 차트에 대한 그런 데이터를 아십니까?
그건 아닌 것 같아요.
고객께서 보신 전체 데이터 수치는 아마 보시기 어려우실 거예요. 그 데이터를 로에만 갖고 있고요. 고객께서 봤던 정리를 어떤 식으로 진행하셔가지고 어떤 식으로 보신지 모르겠어요.
So this sounds completely transparent because this guy, whoever works for the, this company Melon, I don't think he has to like give all that detail and that like extensive explanation. But the fact that he's doing it indicates to me that he could be telling the truth. He's probably telling the truth.
근데 고객님께서 정리해서 보신 거는 그 차트 반영에 관한 내용들이고요. 그 부분이 아니라 1년 동안 고객님께서 스트리밍 돌리시고 앨범을 산 그 이용권 말고 많은 대중들이 전체적으로 그 됐잖아요. 그거에 대한 결과 전체 음원 합산 점수예요. 내부적으로 고객께서 지금 생각하신 게 혹시 내부적으로 이게 비리가 있는 건 아니냐라고 생각이 드시는데요. 뭐 제가 말씀드릴 수 있는 부분은 비리 전혀 없으시고요. 방탄이 1년 동안 보다 스트리밍 수가 많이 받아서 상을 받았다고 생각하시면 되십니다.
February 2017. BTS were accused of plagiarism after their performance at the Gaon Chart Music Awards. The part in question was when the no signal bars on screen resembled another group's past stage. To make matters worse, the creative director...
Do you think they're the ones like producing all this? Do you think they came, let's do no signal? Maybe they are like that deep in the weeds, but they have a production crew. They have people. And even so, it's like that's how you know people really don't have shit on BTS. Like they don't have any real critiques when they just like try to, like I said, reach for straws and find little things.
Director of the group in question created a post on Instagram with the captions, our hard work.
Yeah, coming up with a sign, no signal.
Siblings of the group liked that post.
Such hard work.
Gaon Charts eventually posted an official statement in regards to the accusation, admitting that their own production team was in charge of the graphics, not Big Hit. BTS has not attended or performed at Gaon Chart Music Awards since, only pre-taping acceptance speeches.
Well, that's fine because they were just on Jimmy Fallon last week. But don't get it twisted. Like I know it seems like I'm defending BTS here, but I'm really not. Because they can defend themselves. I don't feel the need to jump to any celebrities defense. Like they're all grown men. But when I see BS, I call it out. And a lot of these allegations sound like BS. So what's wrong is wrong, what's right is right, and it sounds like they are being done an injustice to by whoever these antis are.
March 2017. Death threats were made against BTS, with their target being Jimin this time. This threat happened during their world tour, and Big Hit addressed this threat, increasing security around the venues. December 2017. Fans of a different group were so outraged by the results at the 2017 Mnet Asian Music Awards that they filed a petition under the Blue House, the executive office and official residence of the South Korean head of state. They requested MAMA to be abolished because BTS won, crashing the Blue House petition website, which was meant for the South Korean citizens only, with traffic from overseas. May 2018, Jimin once again received death threats, this time during their Love Yourself tour in Fort Worth. Police tweeted soon afterwards that they were investigating.
Really you got this group promoting a tour called Love Yourself, and these fans or whatever these lunatics are, they're like making death, man.
The threat. November 2018. On November 7, a South Korean court ordered a Japanese company to compensate them for wartime labor during Japan's colonial rule of the Korean peninsula. The next day, Japan's TV's Asahi's music station announced that they have cancelled BTS's appearance on their show, slated for November 9th, due to a recently resurfaced screenshot of a member wearing a t-shirt depicting a photo of an atomic bomb and of Koreans celebrating their independence.
Nationalism, I hate that, man. And that's a Western construct as well that the rest of the world has bought into. It is just so sad. You know, what is controversial about wanting liberation and reparations for the injustices that were done to the South Korean people or the Korean people in general by Japan? I don't understand what's controversial about that.
From Japan. The band subsequently became attacked by the extreme conservatives in Japan, and the news was picked up by the Western media.
그러니까 바로 저 사건은 방탄소년단이 입었던 티셔츠가 직접적인 문제가 됐다기보단 그건 빌미였고 사실은 강제징용 배상 판결에 대한 이 보이콧을 하고 싶어하던 일본의 어떤 그 멘탈리티가 그대로 표현된 거다라고 생각을 할 수 있는데 그래서 그 5개 대륙에 그러니까 전 세계에 걸쳐서 살고 있는 특히 이제 한국 번역을 하는 한국 아미들이 주축이 돼서요 20몇 명의 아미가 온라인으로 모여서 이 사건이 도대체 어떤 정치적 배경에서 나왔는가 어떤 역사적 배경에서 출현한 건가 그리고 지금 그 전 세계에서 쏟아내고 있는 기사들이 어디가 어떻게 잘못된 건가 팩트 체크를 다 하면서 이 2차 세계대전에
What is going on with the background music in these cuts? This is like so unnecessary.
자료들을 다 모아서 화이트 페이퍼 프로젝트를 발간합니다.
영문으로 해서 저렇게 하는 거예요?
예, 영문과 한국어 동시에 다 볼 수 있는데 분량이 166쪽 정도 돼요. 그러니까 거의
April 2019. During BTS's global press conference for Map of the Soul Persona, a reporter bluntly asked BTS about past plagiarism allegations.
사실 제가 그 윙스하고 피땀 눈물 언급했던 거는 그때 이제 뭐 문제가 됐던 내용 그 뭐 표절인가 그 프랑스 작가분께서 언급하셨던 그 부분을 언급해서 여쭤본 거였고요. 그거에 대해서 그냥
Because I feel like I'm only hearing one side, but I'm kind of leaning in the side of BTS anyway.
질문이 좀 불편할 수는 있겠지만 답변을 좀 듣고 싶은 부분 때문에 질문을 드렸습니다.
네, 그 건에 대해서는 저희 회사에서 이제 저희 회사 법무팀에서 작가님이랑 이야기를 하고 있고요. 저희 의견, 저희 생각도 회사랑 동일하다고 생각을 하고 있습니다. 네, 그 건에 대해서는 회사에서 지금 처리를 하고 있기 때문에 뭐 결과가 나오면 알겠죠. 네, 감사합니다.
Oh, is this plagiarism allegation about another picture or another sign?
Later uncovered an article written by a reporter of the same name on another entertainment company's news website.
Oh, see?
April 2019. SBS Inkigayo excluded BTS's Boy With Love out of its charts for the song's first eligible week. Questions about the criteria used by the music show were raised, while SBS continued to claim the calculation period did not fit with BTS's album release time. To this, Dispatch compared BTS to another group who also released a song on the same day. That group entered the rankings and took its first win for their song that week, while BTS were left out of the rankings entirely. December 2019. JTBC reported that BTS went against their own agency and planned to file a lawsuit against Big Hit Entertainment. Big Hit pulled out receipts and released a lengthy statement on behalf of Big Hit Entertainment, BTS, and the members' families. They called the media company's journalism practices into question, stating, "We have not only the video that JTBC used for the first report."
Hey, hold on, y'all. I know this is like very unprofessional of me, but I forgot to charge my phone and I have to go meet a friend this afternoon, so I need this thing to be charged. And I know I could have just like paused and edited this, but let me do this real quick and then I will get back to my reaction.
But also the CCTV video that recorded the footage of the journalist breaking into our company. December 2019.
Wow.
MBC is accused of abusing their power to purposely prevent other groups under Big Hit Entertainment from appearing at their year-end.
So it is competition. Wow, the music industry in Korea is just vicious, man. The fact that BTS has been able to get as far as they have despite these roadblocks and attempts at sabotage is amazing in and of itself.
After BTS chose to appear on the US's NBC New Year's Rockin' Eve countdown in New York City instead of NBC's year-end program.
And it's a shame that they seem to get more love and attention by the media here in the States, or not the media, but by like the music media in the States than they do in Korea. Even though I know most of their fan base is out of Korea, but I'm talking about just like the industry over there. That's separate from the fan base.
According to Osen, multiple industry sources shared, ever since October, when BTS's side told NBC that BTS would not be appearing on NBC's year-end music festival, it has been difficult for singers associated with Big Hit Entertainment to appear on NBC. It is already an openly known fact in the industry. January 2020. For 29 years, the Seoul Music Awards only had one grand prize, also known as a Daesang. But in 2020, they created a second Daesang for digital music. BTS won the Daesang for physical music only, even though their stats proved that they should have also gotten the Daesang for digital music as well. BTS did not appear in person to accept the award and has only sent in video acceptance speeches since. July 2020. Naver, the Google of South Korea, reportedly invested over $80 million into another entertainment company after losing out on profits from BTS, who chose to hold an online concert through Weverse, a mobile app and web platform developed by Big Hit Entertainment. BTS earned at least $21 million in ticket revenue, according to an analyst at securities firm. He stated, Naver lost BTS, the most popular IP of K-pop, and must have felt the need to invest in entertainment to form a stable relationship.
Why isn't she saying the names of these like competing interests?
Since 2017, fans have noticed that South Korean platforms such as Naver and media journalists were ignoring and downplaying BTS's achievements. Popular websites hardly posted anything about them, nor did they feature BTS on their front pages. Music critic Kim Young-dae and popular political commentator Kim Oh-jun recently discussed this issue.
그 뉴스의 크기에 비해서 국내 기사는 상대적으로 적다는 인상을 항상 받았거든. BTS는 그 버금갈 정도의 현상을 지속적으로 만들었는데 거기에 비하자면 아주 수량이 좀 적다. 호들갑 떨기 그렇게 좋아하는 이 미디어들이 왜 이럴까? 궁금증이 평소에 있었거든. 연결되는 이야기예요. 기사들이 일단
BTS의 성공은 이제 어느 정도 보도가 돼요. 그러면 우리가 흔히 알고 있는 소위 대형 기획사의 아이돌이 그것보다 사실은 못 미치는 어떤 활약을 보였을 때 미디어에 보도되는 양이나 그 커버되는 범위를 보시면 확연히 차이가 납니다. 굉장히 좀 재밌는 부분이고 이번 그래미 같은 경우 어떻게 들어가냐면 주요 부문에서 등극에 실패했다라고 한다든지 여러 가지 유전이
See, well, I already gave my spiel on the Grammys. Y'all know how I feel about all of these award shows. To be honest, I don't give a flying. Maybe some people do, but I don't care, dude. If the music is good, the music is good. I don't care. I'm not mad at award. I'm not happy. I don't give a damn about. I don't need award shows to validate my favorite artists. To me, I love J. Cole. I love Chloe Halle. I love Beyonce. I love honestly, BTS is starting to fall into that category for me. But they could have never won an award ever, and I would still love their music. It's not about the awards for me.
이거 하나가 중요하다고 생각해요. 뭐냐면 BTS라는 이 현상, BTS의 미국에서의 성공, BTS의 세계적인 열풍 자체가 제도권의 시스템을 거치지 않았다는 거예요. 그래서 이 제도권을 점하고 있는 그 언론일 수도 있고 뭐 프로모터일 수도 있고 음반 회사일 수도 있죠. 이 사람들이 보기에 썩 납득이 가지 않고
all these media people are just or all these like promoters, all these record labels are just mad because they didn't get the chance to exploit BTS on their way to the top. That's what I think it is. If I had to guess.
유쾌하지도 않아요.
자기 힘이 입증이 안 되는 거지. 그렇게 되면.
그렇습니다.
점하고 있는
Like, how
위치에서
dare they reach all this acclaim, all this notoriety without having been through our system?
자기 영향력이라는 게
Had to
있는데
pay their dues to us. No, they paid their dues. They just didn't pay them to you.
이걸 다 거치지 않고 성공해 버렸으니까 자기 존재 이유가 없어지는 거 아니에요. 그런 맥락에서는
December 2020. For the last few years, BTS has been the face of political discourse on the revisions of South Korea's
BTS
mandatory
should be
military
exempt from military Ooh, that's touching.
service, even though BTS and their company have not spoken about wanting postponement or
you can't speak about
exemptions,
that.
and
can't.
have insisted that they will serve when called upon. In August 2018, all major South Korean entertainment companies held a meeting to discuss petitioning the government to revise the law to allow K-pop performers to be exempt from service, in addition to the top artists, musicians, and athletes that already qualify. Big Hit Entertainment was not among the agencies, but BTS was used as the leading example for this revision. On December 22, 2020, the Ministry of National Defense announced that a revision has been made, effective June 23, 2021, where popular culture artists can postpone their enlistment until age 30, with the requirements that the individuals must have been recommended as recipients of the Order of Cultural Merit.
They got to be recommended, so they got to go through the bureaucracy. And if they don't pass that litmus test, then they got to go into the... Come on now. All this shit is so see-through.
One of the highest national honors given to artists in South Korea. In April 2021, 26 agencies, led by the Korean Music Content Association, filed a written objection against the revision, stating that the new law is both unrealistic and unfair. March 2021. BTS was nominated for the Best Duo Group Performance at the Grammys, which was announced during the online pre-show.
You know what? Maybe these record labels would be able to produce idol groups that could compete with BTS if they spent less of their time trying to destroy the reputation of BTS. Maybe if they spent more of their time on recruitment, and talent development, they would have a shot at producing a group that could even reach half the heights that BTS has reached. Perhaps not, but they're damn sure not gonna do that you know, the more they spend their time and their energy and their resources trying to tear this group down.
Instead of the primetime ceremony, as it usually was
Crabs
in
a
previous
bucket
years.
syndrome.
Unfortunately,
one crab tries to climb out, the other crabs try to pull it back into the bucket.
Didn't take home the award, but what made fans even more upset was that the Grammys used BTS as ratings bait, teasing that BTS's performance.
That's gross. I can see why they would be angry at that. That's gross. To use them as bait and knowing damn well that they ain't gonna win this. We ain't gonna give it. To use them as bait just so you could get those views, and you could also get the press, even though it was negative press, but that's still a lot of press for the Grammys afterwards. All the headlines, BTS, Grammys didn't nominate BTS, BTS didn't win the Grammys. Like, that's still a lot of positive press for the Grammys, even though it's negative because their name is still being said all over the world. So yeah, but the Grammys, it's a gross enterprise. I don't know why anybody would want to win a Grammy at this point in time. Why would you want to win a Grammy at this point in time? Maybe 20, 30 years ago that would have been a big achievement, but didn't Macklemore beat Kendrick? Like they didn't give Kendrick Lamar the Grammy, but they gave it to Macklemore. They didn't give J. Cole the Grammy that one year, but they gave it to Iggy Azalea. They didn't give the Grammy to Beyonce, but they gave it to Taylor Swift. All this stuff it's already, dude, talk about fate. Fate also works in a negative way, where the bad things that are bound to happen in life, they're going to happen either way. People who are like messed up and twisted in the mind, that's who they are. That's their design. That's how they're designed. So you can't expect anything different from a snake than to engage in what it engages in, which is snaky behavior. And that's how I feel about the Grammys. So I don't get mad. I could understand why it would hurt for BTS, because they're like, damn, like y'all invited us onto this platform and, you know, we're guessing like we got a damn good shot at winning because we swept all the other records. And you're just gonna televise us. You're gonna make us get all dressed up in these suits and get on national TV. You're gonna film our reactions, and then we didn't win. So
would be quote unquote up next, but were actually placed as the second to last performance during the 3.5-hour broadcast, and only given the time to perform an abridged performance of their song. A former managing editor for the Grammy Awards website spoke out the next day about the Recording Academy and how it pushed back on featuring BTS.
This doesn't surprise me at all, and has been my explanation for the past 2 decades, not just about Korean groups, but Asians or Asian Americans in general. I was reamed by an editor for interviewing 2 Asian Americans for one story. She said the photo of them would send the wrong message. Dude, racism, it's alive and well. I mean, it's alive and well. It's alive and well. I don't care what you say. It is alive and well. And the worst thing we can do as people of color is buy into, is internalize that racism and inflict it onto each other. And that goes back to the music industry in Korea, where all these record labels should want BTS to get as far as it could possibly get. And they should be cheering BTS on instead of trying to tear them down. Yeah, we want you to represent the country. Yeah, we want you to make as much money, get as many fans as you can. And also shine a light on Korean music, shine a light on K-pop. Do collaborations with some of our boy bands. You know, it's like that episode where the Power Rangers meet the Ninja Turtles. But a lot of people don't think like that because they bought into this like capitalist mindset that we all got to step on each other and tear each other down in order to get to where we need to get. But we don't have to do that. We could ascend together. We could all win. But when some of us are in that kind of competitive mindset, then it puts us at odds.
But BTS got the last laugh. A live stream of the band celebrating after the event has so far garnered more than 13 million views, compared to the 8.8 million viewers who tuned into the Grammys. March 2021. Topps released the Garbage Pail Kids Shammy Awards illustration and cards. Unlike the other artists who were featured, BTS was depicted as being brutalized and beaten up by a Grammy trophy inside a whack-a-mole. This isn't the first time BTS has been shunned, put down, or bullied. In February 2021, a German radio station host made racist remarks about BTS, comparing them to COVID-19. And voiced his hopes that there will be a vaccine against BTS soon. He openly cursed at them for covering a Coldplay song and said
bragging that they covered Fix You from Coldplay.
That BTS deserves a 20-year vacation in North Korea. Halsey, Max, Lau, Steve Aoki, and more artists slammed the radio station's racism and xenophobia.
Put them out of business.
The host and station maintains that it was just a joke, and that folks are too...
That's the thing about people, and I don't want to start making generalizations either, but I'm going to do it anyway. People in Europe got a funny way... I don't want to say funny, but they have an odd way of joking when it comes to like race and ethnicity, because they usually have this arrogant assumption that like racism is only something that takes place and is specific to the United States, since we are so like... I mean, we had the orange man in the office for 4 years, right? But according to Noam Chomsky, like Europe has some of the worst in the world. And the reason why I'm not saying it over and over again is because the algorithm, it picks up on certain words, but you know what, but Chomsky, yeah, he was like, but the reason why we don't typically think of Europe as a place to live is because it's so homogenous in most parts of Europe. Like England is like, what, like 95% white. So that's why we don't see, but he was like, what you see from these migrations over to Europe, especially like the refugee crisis that's going on, is that as soon as they take in even a little bit of diversity, they start going crazy. You know, and I think he's right. I think Europe has not escaped its colonial ways of thinking and ways of interacting with the rest of the world.
Sensitive. During Zach's show, a member named Liam from a boy band called Forever in Your Mind made these comments.
Yeah, I agree that they're a boy band, but at the same time, it's like the rate. I feel like it's like a different, like they belong in a different genre on their own, because I feel like there still needs to be like a European or an American boy band to be at the top, and I think BTS can just live in their own. They're BTS. They don't, you know what I mean?
No,
they're like I don't think
that can be interpreted in a couple different ways. So the way I interpret it, and maybe I'm giving him a favorable assessment, but the way I'm interpreting it is he is looking at it across like national lines, even though we know that we can't always separate race with nationality. But he's like, yeah, historically, like boy bands have been real strong in Europe and the US, like we've dominated. So it would be nice to have that representation again, since he probably lives in the United States. And I think what he said about BTS could actually be perceived as a compliment. Like, yo, they are bigger than nationality. Like, they're in a league of their own. They're BTS. They're not just South Korean BTS. They're not a South Korean boy. They are BTS. Now, granted, you could have a counter criticism of what he's saying, which is, well, we appreciate you recognizing that BTS is in a league of their own, but you also have to recognize that they are still, their roots are still attached to Asia. Their roots are still attached to South Korea. So in a way, they still do represent those parts of the world.
It's just so crazy. It's
dude,
insane.
and it's global.
Yeah. I'm a fan. They're really good.
I like them. They're good dancers.
I can't get behind it. I don't understand what they're saying.
I got it.
See, that's where you messed up. I don't understand what they're saying. See, you don't understand good music, bro. You ain't gotta understand what they're saying to know that what they're making, that shit is fire. You ain't gotta understand it, you know? You don't have to understand it. Do you think people living in, I don't know, a remote village in Afghanistan, if you show them Michael Jackson, they're not gonna understand a word that man is saying, but they're gonna know talent when they see it. And why do I say that? Because there's actually a reaction video out there where these villagers from Afghanistan, you know, the producers or whatever showed them a video of like Michael Jackson, like a live performance, and they were blown away. They were like, yo, like they weren't even paying attention to the language, and they were just like, whoa, this dude is talented. In their own language they were speaking this, but that just goes to show how like dominant the English language is in the world. The fact that like we're like, we don't speak Korean, so I ain't really into that kind of music because I don't speak Korean. It's just an arrogant place, and you know, it's a colonial mindset to have. And sometimes perhaps I fall into that too because I haven't diversified the types of music that I listen to. I listen to like Spanish artists or artists that sing in Spanish. I listen to Pablo Vittar and Anita sometimes. They speak in Portuguese, but even then, I don't listen to a lot of Asian artists. I don't listen to a lot of African artists. And that's something that's a blind spot for me that I just got to get better on. So this is a step in that direction. My reactions to BTS.
Some boys or girls, because I don't know what they are. Look at these people. Look at this one. I don't know which one he is. Look at those highlights. Those chunky Tony and Guy mall salon.
They're better than yours, actually. Yours are very thin. Your hair looks like straw. But let's not go in that direction because I don't like to fight fire with fire, because when I do, people see me as a bully because I'm built for that. Anyways, like, she's a racist. That's it. What else are you going to say? She's a Karen.
The contact lenses. You are an Asian man. You don't need to look like a girl named Ashley.
When I first heard something Korean had exploded in America, I got worried.
I don't know. I think they look very nice. That is not what you were saying during the break!
How did this become a thing in Western culture where all these grown men and little girls are off to little K-pop boys?
And the scary thing about it is that this is now. These clips weren't clips that were taken from interviews 30 years ago and talk shows 30 years ago. This is now what we're dealing with. But cancel culture is real, right? Cancel culture. Oh, everybody's being canceled. You can't say anything. These people are still employed. So stop complaining about cancel culture because it's a form of gaslighting.
Senior editor from The Economist said, "Please no." After BTS was announced,
trying to be cool using the terminology that Gen Zers use. Please no. Please no what? And also in response to a tweet that says K-pop band BTS delivers a message of hope at the UN General Assembly, and your response to that is please no. See, that's the thing about white folk. Once the playing field becomes leveled and they start facing competition from other groups and they start getting beat at their own game, at the game that they created, all of a sudden they want to move the goalposts. All of a sudden they want to come up with all these reasons as to why the system is not fair. Well, you created it. Right? It's that old saying, don't hate the player, hate the game, right?
As speakers at the 75th UN General
That's the thing about whiteness. It's so hypocritical at its core.
Assembly, she quickly tried to backtrack, claiming it was a joke. This led to Stefan.
What was the joke though? I just don't understand what the humor was in the joke. What joke? You said please no. Please no what? You were trying to be cool. Okay, you were, I don't know if that was like a racist thing, if she was going in that direction, but the please no, it was more so like condescending, like, okay, Karen, like, stop trying to be cool. Stop trying to talk like the kids. I'm sorry if it was taken the wrong way. Apologies. And that's the thing about a lot of them too, you know? A lot of these people who say outlandish things, they're quick to apologize. No. If that's what you believe, stand on it. Stand on it. And when you get that pressure, be who you were originally. Don't change up. Don't switch up because you're scared that you're going to lose your job. You're scared that you're going to lose a sponsorship or your money. If you are a racist, be a racist Monday through Sunday, 24/7, 365 days a year. Be who you are and accept the consequences that go along with that, which I wish the consequences were greater, but as you can see, they obviously aren't, because a lot of these people who are engaging in these fallacious attacks are still making a whole lot of money, way more money than you and I. OMG, the replies to this, to keep remembering.
Pollard, a British journalist, to tweet this, and Anne Hegarty.
OMG, the replies to this, have to keep remembering Twitter is not real life. And that's another thing they're good at doing too, playing the victim. You know, it's called victimhood inversion. That's what Jason Stanley, philosopher at Yale, calls it, victimhood inversion. When you are in the position of the oppressor and, you know, to justify and rationalize your actions and your words, you pretend to, you know, be in the position of the oppressed. You know, you paint yourself out to be a victim. It's a gaslighting tool that the West has used, you know, since 1492, quite frankly. All this about a little Korean boy band that's fundamentally not important.
A television personality responding with all this about a little Korean boy band that's fundamentally not important.
And watch her say, that's not racist. Look at the placement of your words, little Korean. Think about the stereotypes that are attached to Asian people in general. You know? It's also, you could also say that her word choice can be emasculating. Little Korean boy band. They don't refer to themselves as boy bands, though, right? They're referred to as idol bands. So to call them, or idol groups or whatever. So to call a group of grown-ass men a little Korean boy band, and then to end it with, they are not fundamentally important and therefore they are not deserving of the attention that they are getting, just goes to show that she has deep resentment against Asian folks. So when they say like anti-Asian sentiment is not real, I mean, I'm starting to see it. I always knew, because I don't trust white people when they say what's real and what's not, but like this video is blowing me away right now because I'm seeing
all this about a little Korean boy band that's fundamentally not important. So when BTS was named Entertainer of the Year by Time magazine soon after, RM said, "We're not sure if we've actually earned respect, but one thing is for sure is that people feel like, okay, this is not just some kind of syndrome or phenomenon. These little boys from Korea are doing this."
See, and they can refer to themselves as that, but I don't know, I wouldn't refer to them as little boys.
BTS have always been outspoken about the injustice of racial discrimination. In the summer of 2020, they used their platform and proudly announced their support for Black Lives Matter and donated $1 million to the organization. With the recent rise and visibility of atrocity...
I'm not a big fan of philanthropy, but it's the best model we got right now. Hopefully we could come up with a better one. But the fact that, you know, they went out of pocket to donate to the cause, a cause that they could have just been like, we're in Korea. We don't know what's going on in the US. We don't care. That is so far away. Like, that is a huge testament to their character.
...dollars to the organization. With the recent rise and visibility of atrocities against Asians, BTS released a statement on their Twitter standing in solidarity once again. These are just a few of the countless examples of mistreatment, racism and xenophobia that BTS has been encountering around the world throughout their storied career. It will more than likely be a continued uphill battle. As artists of color who are constantly breaking records and barriers, amassing fans and growing in popularity around the globe, hostility and jealousy will come easily from those not afforded the luxury of such a strong and dedicated fan base. As fans who are cognizant of their journey and understand that their popularity comes from their sincerity and talent, ARMYs have a tendency to be protective, and sometimes overly so. If only
really
because of the awareness of what BTS and ARMY are up against when fighting for fair representation.
That's completely understandable. Yeah, this is a wonderful documentary. Shout out to her. And yeah, man, I really enjoyed this. And if you enjoyed it too, please comment, like, and subscribe. I will see y'all next time. Peace.